for this right here. What I've been able to do right here. Like I said, when Tesla said, if mankind could understand the significance of 3, 6, and 9 have keys to the universe, will you play that video for me, James?
Terrence Howard is being called a retired actor by the headlines, but what we are really seeing is a man rewriting his own legend in real time. One copper wire at a time, he is burning bridges as fast as he can build them. Who else but Terrence would look Rolling Stone straight in the eye and declare 1 × 1 = 2, swearing he is about to change the foundation of basic math for all mankind? Back in 2015, people laughed, but by 2024, he is sitting across from Joe Rogan casually, tossing out the Pythagorean theorem like it is a piece of trash. Joe Rogan, who usually never cracks, sits frozen and defeated by Terrenceology. While Hollywood stars trade sunset mansions, Terrence is grinding 17-hour shifts in a Chicago high, rise building massive copper sculptures with names like the Flower of Life. He is convinced these creations prove what the textbooks missed to him. This is not just a theory. It is a new science, a new reality.
For the second one, 12 million for the third. We signed it. They come back to me the week that my mother, and they called my agent, Charles King he was at William Morris at the time. And they said, yeah, we want Terrence, but we want to come back for $1 million instead of the 8 million that we had agreed to. And my agent had an emotional reaction to a business decision, and he said, F you, and hung up the phone. Well, immediately
to his orbit of madness, pay it. This is not some vanity project or eccentric side hustle. This is a man so obsessed he now lives inside the maze he has created, surrounded by blueprints, wires, and the smell of burnt flux. The scientific world has noticed, but not in the way he dreamed. When Terrence Howard first pushed his terology claiming gravity could be neutralized and straight lines do not exist in the universe, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, normally cool and diplomatic, stepped up with a public smackdown. Tyson gave him a nod for curiosity, but warned that these are not harmless mistakes, but dangerously wrong ideas that could drag gullible fans into quicksand. That warning changed.
But instead of just doing that, they had to spin, he was terrible on set and all of these things, and went through all this stuff. And I'm calling Robert Downey Jr. I'm calling him because when I was doing the Brave one with Jodie Foster, Susan Downey was...
But the deepest damage is not happening on the public stage. It is unfolding in private. High above Chicago, behind penthouse doors that feel more like prison gates than luxury living Mara-Pack. The woman who married Terrence in a whirlwind is left with the saddest lines in this story. In that same Rolling Stone profile, she confessed, "We don't have a normal life. I feel like Rapunzel trapped in a tower with my baby. The restaurants, the friends, the late-night movies all erased, replaced by endless hours of cutting wire, bending copper, and chasing Howard's equations instead of building a future together. The isolation is heavy. Mira, once a restaurateur and model, admits she developed agoraphobia. Never going out, never even shopping for groceries because every spare moment is consumed by his obsession. Even romance has vanished."
It's showing up again.
And you think if that had not happened, you probably would have gone further and further down the world of acting, and you would have abandoned this.
Oh my goodness. I had, I was doing Iron Man.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, that gets taken away. We did a 3-picture deal with Marvel, a 3-picture deal, $4.5 million for the first one, 7.5.
Back in 2015, Mira filed for divorce, and for a moment it looked like she had broken free. But the cycle spun again by 2018. Terrence staged a lavish proposal complete with a ring worth millions. Pulling her right back in the pattern is as dizzying as his math always swinging between separation and reunion, between freedom and the magnetic pull of his alternate reality. It never feels like she is falling back in love. Instead, it feels like she is being dragged into the event horizon, unable to fully escape the black hole of Howard's world each day. Family life grows more surreal.
What I did as a child, I said, I'm going to, instead of waiting for the Messiah to show up, What if everybody picked up their torture stake and behaved and did the things that they had expected the Messiah to do? What if everybody just for one day walked around and behaved as if they...
The more Terrence Howard chases reinvention, the more his legend twists after Empire ended. The world expected a comeback, maybe a new series or at least a small movie role. But instead, Terrence stunned everyone by announcing he was finished with acting, saying, "I'm done," pretending, and this wasn't about a peaceful retirement or a spiritual break. It was a hard pivot from Oscar nominee to self-declared prophet. He told reporters he was focusing on bringing truth to the world, and if that truth came wrapped in copper wire and hidden in terology equations, then that was everyone else's problem. When scientists laughed at his claims, he doubled down, transforming from misunderstood genius to would-be cult leader podcasts became his new pulpit. If the scientific elite refused him entry, he would simply build his own house, a new Atlantis. As he described it, a breakaway society where his math ruled and mainstream logic was for peasants. His tone shifted from hopeful to vengeful, like a modern-day exiled wizard promising to prove the world wrong. Lawsuits soon followed against Fox, CAA, Disney, and more. Every bounced check or soured contract fueled his threats to bring the system crashing down to him. The real injustice was...
So I love actors that just really pours it out. Like, I can't keep up with Joaquin Phoenix no more. Joaquin is taken off. He's in a place where the disbelief that I can't do anymore because I've been rooted into...
All of these threads twist together into something stranger than fiction. His wire sculptures, his crusade against science, his vow to build a parallel society outside Hollywood, the courts and the IRS in Meras, slow-motion disappearance on Bill Maher's podcast. Terrence let it slip. My whole goal now is to disappear. Not fade out, not slow down, but vanish entirely. A disappearing act on a scale only he could engineer, powered by copper lawsuits, burned bridges, and the unshakable belief that everyone else is missing the truth. The old Terrence is gone. What remains is
doesn't this kind of contradict, though? Because on one end, you're saying it's possible to have 0-point energy where oil industry and all this other stuff, and the industry is saying, you're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no way, and then, here's what Lynchman, this is what we could do. Elon is saying, I want to go have, life on Mars.
Now the eccentric math and homemade science fade into the background and the war drums begin. Terrence Howard, once a Hollywood insider, now declares he has become an Avenger, launching a podcast he swears will be every studio's nightmare and every actor's dream. Raw, unfiltered, and straight from his lips to TMZ headlines, he promises to pull back the curtain on the deals, betrayals, and power games that defined Hollywood behind closed doors, with Disney, Fox, and CAA squarely in his sights. He is no longer hinting but naming names, recounting how he says he was bled dry by the system he once conquered. The centerpiece of his crusade is the bruising Empire salary dispute, where he insists he was pressured by CAA and Fox to accept far less than he deserved, saying, "I trusted CAA to look after me, and they looked after themselves to him. This is not a contract fight. It is a $300 million conspiracy, a network of shady transactions designed to keep the wrong people rich and the loudest voices out in the cold." The lawsuits keep coming, one against Fox, one against CAA, each afresh. Page in his David versus Goliath saga. But the question lingers, is Howard exposing a
Right now we have over 90-something separate patents. We have 30 different trademarks and copyrights, but most of the stuff are hard patents.
And the patents, are they all in the States? Or
all in the States.
26, Howard's orbit does not stop at boardroom numbers or contract disputes. When he appeared on the Patrick Bet David podcast, he dropped a hand grenade into the Hollywood rumor mill, claiming that Diddy once invited him over for acting lessons only for the meeting to spiral into an unsettling silence that felt more like intimidation than inspiration. He never called the moment criminal, but he framed it as a glimpse into what he describes as the man called...